G'day humans, Chris Stead from Finder here. Today I'm with the Landcruiser 300 Sahara ZX. What a beast it is. Now this thing will cost you just a tickle under $150,000 in Australia, that's drive away. And there's up to an 8-month waiting list at the moment in 2022 to pick one up. So it's quite the investment. Now I've done a full review of this and you can read it on the finder.com.au website, and I'll put a link below so you can access it there. And I've also done a video review of it on the Finder Garage YouTube channel. I'll also put a link for that below. So make sure you go check out the full reviews. But today I'm just going to give you a quick overview in my 5 pros and 5 cons about the Landcruiser 300 series. So let's start with the 5 pros. 1, this is a really fantastic driving experience. It's just so light in your hands. Despite being a big car, the turning circle is really good. Despite being a big car, there's not that much body roll. The suspension eats all the bumps that hit it. It's just a really lovely drive on all surfaces. 2, power. This car has got so much power to burn. You've got a 10-speed dual shift transmission in this, which is pretty much seamless. You don't really notice the transition gears. It's a wonderful job. It sits at a really low RPM all the time, like between say 1500 and 2500, usually under 2000 RPM all the time. And you just always got that power there. When I'm going up hills, I'd run out of slope before I'd run out of power. You can tow 3.5 tons brake on this across the country on any terrain, and it'll just keep going. 700 Newton meters torque, 227 kilowatts of power, 3.3 litre, V6 diesel twin turbo engine, power. It's a pro in the Landcruiser 300 series. 3, luxury. This is such a luxury experience when you're driving this car, and while what you get, the features that you get differs between the different tiers, all of them really do feel very expensive inside, because it's an expensive car, right? Everything's ergonomic, everything's nicely spaced out. You've got a real analog feel, but everything just touches and feels nice. The multimedia unit at the front here is one of the best I've ever used. It's the smartness, the way that they've done the operating system on it's just so smart. There's plenty of storage everywhere. And if you get the higher models, you get some really cool stuff. Like, this is a cool box. It's a cool box in here. There's screens at the back, I've got a DVD playing in here, and the speaker sound system is unreal. I had the movie on before. I felt like I was in a movie theater, dead set. So there's luxury feel in this car, can't be denied. 4, boot space. You could dead set hide a panda bear in here. There's so much space. I don't know how much you need to fill in here before you have to go to the roof rack. And on top of that, all the new Landcruisers have the back opening boot rather than the side opening boot, which provides you with rain cover when you're trying to get all your stuff inside the car. Whew. And 5, reliability. Toyota Landcruiser 300 series comes with a 5-year warranty, which bumps up to 7 years for your engine and your drivetrain. And that shouts that there's a belief from Toyota that this thing is going to last a distance, despite the fact you're supposed to take on heaps of terrain. You also get 5 years capped $375 services as well. And on top of that, you've got a 5-star ANCAP rating rated for the entire thing. So this bad boy's got you covered. All right, let's get on to the cons. Con number 1, that price and that wait time. It just can't be ignored. Now, even on the base model GX, I looked at the Toyota website just before I came out here, and drive away, it's $98,000 here in Australia. And up to the Sahara ZX that we've got here, that's $150,000 or $148,000, sorry, drive away. And that's before you add any accessories like a bump bar or something like that. So that's like a decision between getting this or putting a deposit on a house. Can't be ignored. Then you've got the wait time as well. Now, at the moment, Toyota's saying that's about 8 months depending on the model, but I've seen it go as high as 18 months at some period since it was first launched here in Australia. So, wait time and the price, big con. 2, the back row and space. Now, admittedly, I've got this seat back for a 6'4" driver, but it's not all the way back. And an adult or a large teenager or a baby crib is really going to struggle to fit in this car, and I don't get it. This is one of the biggest cars on the road, the big family all-rounder for everyone. But I fear that because of the compromised space in this back, and you can see here, I'm not even getting support under my legs because the floor is too high. This isn't going to last a family as long as it should. Families will outgrow this car, large families especially. Number 3, fuel economy. Now, according to the official documentation, you get about 8.9 litres per 100 Ks with this car. However, that's not my experience. My experience when I was just doing errands, driving around the streets, dropping the kids off to school, going to school sport, going to the beach, that type of thing, I was getting about 18 litres per 100 Ks. When I started commuting to the city, back and forth from the city, about 40, 45 minutes in the car, a bit of traffic, a few lights, things like that. I was getting about 13 to 14 litres per 100 Ks. It wasn't until I got to the highway and I was towing nothing, I started to get around that 8 litres. So the reality is that the fuel economy on this thing, if you're going to be driving it in urban environments more often than not, is going to really start hurting the bank balance sooner rather than later. Number 4, there's 6 different variants of the Landcruiser 300 series, and the way that they've staggered the features that you get available on each is a bit too aggressive in my opinion, especially for a car that's costing you $100,000 for the baseline model. Now, while getting things like this, I understand why that's in a higher price tier. This is the Sahara ZX after all, the top of the line. But other things like power to the boot, sat nav, things like that, they should be stock standard in this day and age. And I feel like they've been too aggressive on the price tiers, and that more of those features that we just would normally see in cars in that $60,000, $50,000 mark, but in this Landcruiser 300 are pushed up to that $130,000 plus mark. That just grinds my gears. And number 5, and perhaps it's just me, but the Landcruiser is just the quintessential four-wheel drive of the Australian landscape. But there's just a few things about this that just feel un-Australian to me. Look at this big fat American looking bonnet and front grille. Yeah, it's cool, but it's American. It's a little bit boxy all around actually. The design itself feels a little bit American. Inside, there's no manual gear stick option anywhere across the range. No manual, that's un-Australian. And there's no 8-seater option at all, anywhere in the range. And only a few of them have 7 seats. Most of them, like this one, are just 5 seats. That's un-Australian as well. We're big here, big families, big country. Go big. I'm Chris from Finder. Those are my 5 pros and 5 cons of the Landcruiser 300 series. Make sure you go ahead and check my full review over at the Finder Garage YouTube channel or on the website. And until next time, see you later.